Social folks, everything Katy, Fischer, Richmond, Texas. Today we have John Bock with Bock's Appraisals, as well as Priscilla Pfaff with Select Title. Welcome, guys.
Hi,
Thank you.
Richard. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. We got a lot going on. 2025's kicked off. Tons of stuff happening in our industry.
Yes. And that's why we kind of wanted John here to tell us some things that he's seeing in the appraisals and what's happening on all that.
Well, the last time we were here, we had talked. It was about a year ago. I talked about prices being stable. Prices are still stable. I'm sure you guys are aware.
Look at that. He even remembered that.
I'm seeing
what he talked about a year ago.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
well, we're still there. Prices are supported, but I'm seeing a lot more seller concessions. So while we were seeing them before 2021, 22, we didn't see seller concessions at all. In fact, you see over list all the time. Now we're sitting at list, near list at 99% on average, but the seller concessions are supporting those prices.
So explain to him what a seller concession is.
Okay. Well, with these high interest rates, you're going to have I think on average, we're doing 7% interest rates. You have sixes and eights blending 7 nationally.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing too.
Yeah, a lot of lenders are, they'll offer that buy down. You want to buy down a point where the seller is going to give them in the contract a seller concession. Maybe it's about 10,000. We were seeing 2% before, now we're at 3%. I've seen $35,000 in seller concessions.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a new construction. I won't say the builder.
Sure.
Trying to buy the rate down on a low credit score, just really trying to get it below the sixes. But I think that's keeping the prices stable at the moment, which does mean a slight value decrease. If the prices are staying stable with seller concessions, it means the value of the homes are slightly decreasing. Not too much though.
Because there is an offset when I run the market analysis on HAR. When there is a seller concession, you have what do you call list price and then actual sold price.
For sure. And so we're doing a lot of refinances right now, a lot of FHA reverse.
Really?
Yes, a lot of FHA reverse mortgages. I was doing
I would have never guessed that in today's market.
10 a year last year. I've done 10 in the last trailing 30 days.
Wow.
Yeah, they're keeping me busy. I'm seeing that, and the expectations that these people will have on value when they're doing an FHA reverse mortgage, it's primarily used for the older population.
You have to be a certain age in order to do that, correct?
Yeah. Interest rates on par with regular FHA. They're just going to pay you the equity in your house as you go forward in life. But so that being said, these people have expectations of value that maybe a realtor has told them, or they run their own Zillow, which is not the best to manage expectations. So
The A in Zillow's for accurate.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah. Okay. All right. I like that.
So I'd say the last 10, the value my opinion of value has been less than the owner's expectations. Not by too much, except for just a handful.
Yes.
But I ask where, you're thinking, this, why are you thinking this?
Yeah. How did you come up with that number is what I asked.
And it's always Zillow, or I know an agent ran a CMA, and I'm going, because agents are like appraisers. They're going to vary in quality and accuracy. I'd like to think I have great quality.
Especially if you've never seen the property, the inside and all that.
And they do have a tendency to kind of tell me the wrong information. I want to know what the deficiencies are in these homes. When you do any FHA, if there's stuff wrong with the home, it's going to need to be fixed, and they sugarcoat it. And then I show up and I see, oh, you did a remodel 20 years ago.
Right.
Okay.
Or you got a new roof. Well, sometimes they think it's yesterday. Really, it was 15 years ago. When they got that roof,
Okay.
just a couple years.
Yeah, and that makes a difference.
Yeah, seen a lot of those.
Yesterday, case in point, talking about value, I'm looking at a 4,500 square foot house, and he's showing me 2,500 square foot homes at price per square foot. I'm like, of course it's more per square foot. But the general public doesn't understand that. They think it's a smaller house. Mine's bigger and nicer, but it's a sliding scale both ways.
Okay. All right.
The smaller the home,
right.
the more per square foot. The bigger the home, the less per square foot.
And the reason being, you have your land is in that price per square foot. So as you shrink down in square footage, that land still has the same value in it.
Correct.
The pools, the other, the ancillary units, the guest house, yeah. So on big houses, people love to do price per square foot. But as you go up in square footage above the average or median for that neighborhood, the price per square foot, the return to market value for each additional goes down. So maybe you're gaining $60 a foot. You're going to see 55 on the next 100 up, and then you'll see 50 to where, what's the difference between an 8,000 square foot home and a 9,000 square foot home? Does anybody really care? No, the buyers in there don't care. So it might not be returning any more value the larger that home is. Now, people with smaller homes love to brag about the remodel they've done. Well, it's very easy to remodel a smaller home. Remodeling that 4,500 square foot home is really going to be
Very
expensive. Now, when the two align and you've got one of the largest homes in a development and it's recently been remodeled, that's when it becomes tricky to an appraiser, because now we're sitting at the very height of that market.
The pinnacle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we might have to jump to an adjacent market because we won't find an exact comparable in that neighborhood. We'll find some that maybe are less updated, and we'll make an adjustment.
So how far
for that.
out do you go when you have to do that, when you can't find it in that neighborhood?
If I've pulled, let's say, within a mile, that's where I don't want to go over a mile.
Okay.
Otherwise, unless I have good reason.
That's a good barometer.
Yeah, it is. Or we stay within the development. Now we're in Cinco Ranch, and Cinco Ranch is just massive. I'm not going to pull all of Cinco. I'll try and stay within the same sections, but a mile's where I'm going to start at. If I don't have enough data in there, like let's say I have 100 sales, 50 of them are too small, 40 of them are too large. I got 10 that are just nice and close in square footage. The design of 2 of them is way different, so we'll get rid of that. And then I look inside the pictures of each one, and I go, well, I don't have anything that's updated like this 4,500 hypothetical home.
Right.
I'll jump to another market, and I'll sift through there, and if I can find one there, and I'll go, okay, that was the high point in that market. It got this. Now, is there a difference between the markets? If I'm in
Now you have to make adjustments.
between the markets, yeah, because let's say maybe it's a different school district, maybe different roads, thoroughfares, and make it's just prettier development. Let's take Cimarron right here off of Mason. You go just south of it, and you've got Cinco full of green space, pools, clubhouses.
Same house, same builder. Could be $100,000 difference
It
in
could
price.
be, yeah, that's right. Just depending where you are,
yeah.
So you can, if you're going to use those two to compare, then you need to make the adjustment.
Wow.
But
that's a lot of things y'all got to think about.
Yeah, it's fun though.
That's a matrix.
It's like playing Sudoku.
Yeah.
Just with a lot more squares. It's fun. That's all I do. I play Sudoku and read the comics every day. I think I just dated myself on that.
They're going to remember that and soundbite it.
Yeah.
And use it.
Right.
You'll hear that again in the future,
Yes.
John.
Yes.
They just play Sudoku. That's it.
That's
Sudoku
an
and coffee.
appraiser's life.
Yeah. I mean, that's all agency, right? They just, here, fill this out. That's it. You don't do anything
Oh,
else.
we just drive around, look important.
Yeah.
Shoot, Instagram. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. But there's so many parts that go in. So what are some things that you're seeing that help increase the value of the properties?
Well, during COVID, the best thing you could do was start doing media rooms, studies, pools.
Oh, studies, huge.
Huge, yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, the more, when people started staying home, I mean, that became the gold standards was, what features because let's pretend this is a compound. We have to live here. You don't know that it's going to go on for years, but you don't know that it's not.
Right.
Pools we were seeing go for, let's say, $30,000 in some markets, had doubled in value within 2 years, and this is
Well, the cost when you buy a pool today has gone up astronomically.
And the best thing to do is if people had gotten 2019 and early 2020 pools when the prices were low, and then the value that they recouped in say 22 when they refinanced was more than what they paid for the pool. When have you ever seen value exceed cost in a pool?
Dollar for dollar back on a pool.
Wow.
Now, no,
No.
We're seeing, half because the pools have
Which
come up.
that's normal.
And that's,
In a
that's
normal
typical.
market, 50% returns what I've seen.
Oh, you know what I saw a lot of? This is exciting. Okay, garage conversions and people adding on to their homes. So prior to COVID,
Like a mother-in-law
you'd see
on
it-
top?
Sure.
Okay.
Everything, just anything to do with the house. Before COVID, I'd see these, maybe twice a year. And we run about 1,500 appraisals per year, half of that being new construction. So the resales, I do too. I'll be darned, every month I was seeing 2 and 3 where they'd done garage conversions or they started adding on to an existing home. Now, I don't know if you know this, that's extremely expensive, and the return to market value for those is not going, but they didn't care. Where are they going to move to?
Right.
I see it going on right now where I'm doing refinances, and I'd done it a year ago. They did the refinance a year ago to pull cash out to do the addition. Now I got to go out there. They want to know what the value is now. The lender does too. They want to exit the construction loan. And they're basically $200,000, and they're barely adding, maybe 1,000 square feet or something like that.
Right.
And they think
Which, if you look at the cost per square foot, that's a lot.
oh yeah, especially in a neighborhood that's returning $60 to $70 a foot.
Oof.
For each square foot, and here they have dropped just a ton of money, and they think maybe they'll get close to it. And I don't know what to tell them other than,
Wow.
picture you are in Cimarron where your average home is 1,800 square feet.
Right.
You just added, made yourself a 2,800 square foot home. There's no 2,800 square foot homes
Correct.
in Cimarron. Cimarron's a great
No,
neighborhood.
you have an anomaly.
You do,
Mm-hmm.
and if you want to hit the price that they have in their head, and they're like, "Well, I spent $200,000 doing this. I should see an increase of $200,000." Well, now you're sitting in the $500,000 price range. Nobody's going to live in Cimarron for $500,000. They're going to jump to another neighborhood.
They're going to be in
Right.
Cinco
So
Ranch.
that's the ceiling you start hitting when you hit.
But how does the lender do a loan for all the construction costs?
Okay. Well,
And
it's
then
similar
you
to
got to
flipping.
refinance it, but the value's not that.
The value, so they're only going to
That's where
lend a
my
certain
head-
amount.
Hopefully they
Yeah.
have the equity.
Yeah. So if you got
Okay,
they own the
okay.
house outright, and let's say market at $300,000 is what it would sell for. The appraiser comes in at $300,000, and they go, okay, on your construction loan, we're going to lend you 75% of your value.
Right.
So we're at $225,000. They go and they drop the $225 on. Let's say they spent all of it remodeling that house, expanding the square footage. Now, when we go out there a year later, it's say market value is $350,000 or $400,000, and they're hitting the ceiling of Cimarron.
Right.
So they'll recoup all of their. That'll pay back the construction loan, and they might not all of it, but they might have a little bit left over.
Yeah.
But now they're going to be writing a 7% mortgage, but that was better than them trying to go and buy a $500,000 home somewhere else because at an 8% or 7%.
Yeah.
Screw it.
At the
Well,
total
We'll
of
just stay here.
closing
because
costs,
they've already paid off, so it's not a
all the
it's-
fees.
It's
right.
not a $500,000 or $600,000
Moving,
loan. It's a
pick something.
$300,000.
When your entry level homes in this market are $450,000,
That's the average home in Katy today, sir. It is.
Well, and unless you're going to go start in like a Starlight or LGI product, you're going to have to pay $400,000, and this isn't in a 3% interest. A 25-year-old making good money can afford a $400,000, $500,000 home if they're hitting 3% interest. At 6-7%, nobody can just step in as
It's
their
dual
first
income.
house. Yeah, it's dual income.
Yeah, but my first one was 8.5%.
Yeah,
but what was the
the
cost of the
price?
house?
The
Yeah,
price.
the price
the price
was,
in relation to
the
income
price
was
pretty
much,
awesome.
Was much,
yeah,
yeah.
I have to say that. Yeah.
My first
Yeah.
house, I was in the eights too.
Yeah.
I think it was four.
But that home
$4.5.
was $125,000.
Oh man, we bought our house in 2009. We signed on it, moved in 2010. $185,000 in 2009 for a new mark, 2,600 square feet.
Wow.
And it was the bottom where everything had cratered right during after the crisis of 08, 09.
Right.
I said, we're going to buy a house. We weren't even engaged. I said, baby, we're gonna buy a house, and if we have to sell it eventually, which we never did, we're going to make money on this. And sure enough, those values started taking off.
Very smart decision. I bought a new mark at the end of 11 and closed in 12 as it was finishing.
Yeah.
And then in 12 it took off that spring.
Yeah.
You been to his house?
Yes.
Have you seen the drums?
Oh,
That's
yes.
crazy.
Yes.
He has got 20 sets of drums.
It's my personal drum shop, is what I call it.
Oh, does that add value too, John?
Oh, for sure. Yes. The drums, yeah. Tries to bribe the appraiser.
I will
with
remember
drums.
that.
I think there's 5 sets up there.
3 are set up at all times. I do have 6 drum sets though.
Okay.
What's the
All
difference?
right.
It's just the sound, or what's
Cool factor.
factor.
They do sound different. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
One's electronic, so I can put on headphones and I can play till 2-3 in the morning.
And
you could be
nobody
downstairs watching TV and I'm having a rock concert, and I'm not disrupting the house.
Yeah.
Now the other ones, they're loud,
Oh, they're awesome.
but it's so much
Do
fun.
your neighbors ever go, "Hey, is that you at it again?" Call you and say, "Hey." Can you
My neighbors are pretty cool. There is one neighbor that does not like it, but
It's during the day.
Yeah.
They can't say anything.
well, actually, Fort Bend County does not have a noise ordinance.
I didn't know that.
Look it up. Unless it's changed, but to my knowledge, they do not have a noise ordinance.
I'm just gonna randomly.
But I'm
sit something
polite. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
want to,
Yeah.
You gotta live next to him, right?
That's right.
We live in the same neighborhood. He lives
Yes.
in the rich people section.
Yeah.
Just, nice. We took the boys by our house the other day. We're on our
Okay.
scooters, yeah. And I don't think you were there. You looked over.
Oh, my
Anytime you're
goodness.
by, just ring the doorbell.
What's, Carter knows you because I talk about you in your podcast, and he'll be watching. Hi, Carter.
Yeah, hey.
Hi, Hudson. Hi, Nolan. my little boys.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. But no, it's a beautiful home.
So what are we thinking on transactions going forward? I hear we're at a 30-year low as far as mortgage applications right now. Are transactions seeing the same thing, or is
You know,
they flow
I'm seeing
together?
a spike in inventory personally. You know, my forecast for the year, and I've done a lot of research and talked to people nationally. I think, and these are some of these are national numbers, and I'm going to clarify it. 5.5 million total transactions for the year is what we believe is going to happen in single-family residence. We do believe that you're going to see basically a spike of 10% in sales over last year. That's the forecast for this year.
Yay.
So, but it's always calm before the storm. And I can tell you, because I do the weekly data videos, if you guys aren't aware of that, it's like a 2-minute snippet that gives you the Katy, Fischer, Richmond snapshot. Typically, we hover around 140, 150 new listings every week in Katy.
Okay.
It jumped 100 listings this week. So we had 240 listings hit
So
this
that's
week.
new inventory. We're not talking about inventory sitting there and building. You just
No,
have all that
well, it's
inventory
new in resale.
Okay.
It is collectively,
But I mean-
but it's new active listings in 7 days.
Okay, yeah.
And that
So,
includes the new homes and the
Correct.
resale. Okay.
In all of Katy.
Wow.
So and actually I saw a spike across the board, Katy, Fischer, and Richmond.
So total, what was the spike?
Katy was the largest one. I remember that off the top of
Yeah.
my head.
What do you think did that?
You know, typically you get through the holidays, the election cycle's over, you're in what I call the holiday hangover for a couple weeks. I think the hangover wore off, and now everybody's making decisions, confident moving forward, and I believe consumer confidence is back. I believe that was.
Election results is
I think that's part of it, yeah. And then at some point, I mean, people have to make decisions and move on. I mean, because
What's good
people
for them
have
and their
kids, they need bigger
families.
houses, or people
Yeah.
need to downsize. I mean, or get closer to the grandkids. I mean, sooner or later, you got to make it happen.
So you think that dam was built up, and finally they go, okay.
Pent up energy. Yep,
Yeah.
I do.
All right, cool.
In our local market, I'm forecasting 3 to 3.5% appreciation this year. That's what I believe we're going to see.
Okay.
I think right now, yeah, I would agree with you. We're hovering kind of on a plateau, but we haven't hit spring yet, and I think that's when we'll see the spike, and then we'll just kind of ride the wave out through the rest of the year. Is my forecast on that.
Okay.
The fourth quarter historically has always been my best quarter in real estate.
Always.
Everybody says there's no business in October, November, December. I say otherwise.
You had an amazing
No
fourth
business
quarter.
for them.
Yeah.
Yes. Multiple times in the fourth quarter, I earned as much in the last 90 days as what I did the first 3 quarters collectively.
Isn't that crazy?
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And it probably was just, you didn't even notice the difference in workload. You probably just smooth, just plug
You
it in.
just keep going.
We'll go for weeks where it's really slow getting orders in, and I'm calling my clients going, hey, is everything okay?
Is my phone broken?
We're kind of slow, and I'm like, this is, and then the next day, the second I say that, the floodgates open. It's great when it's steady because you can plan everything, but when it all rolls in at once, it's all going to be due at once.
Or if you try to go on vacation.
Oh, and
Oh,
that's
yeah,
when
if you ever-
they go,
Yeah.
oh, he's on vacation.
Oh,
Call
let's
him."
keep
Yeah.
going.
Yeah,
Where's
well, we need him right
that.
now.
Yeah.
Business always
Nope,
picks
you're
up.
not going to have fun today.
Yeah.
No, but it's always a blessing to get more work, though, so you can never complain. I never really complain about
Never.
it.
No,
Ever.
no,
Appreciate all my clients and what they do.
me
Yeah.
too. I mean, without them, I can't do what I do. So I'm very
Key to
thankful.
our success.
Yep, very grateful. So, what are your guys' thoughts on what's coming forward this year? Is anything that because all of our industries, yes, we're collectively working together, but
Right.
yet there's a lot of different aspects to what we do too.
Right.
Well, I'm seeing more. We talked about seller concessions. I think they're going to start reducing the level of seller concessions at the new homes. And I wish I could say the lender, but that means I'd be saying what was in contracts. But when this lender was giving $35,000 and $45,000 to this builder, selling it, I'm seeing 15 and 20. And I think it's going to trend down to the normal $5,000 and $10,000.
And that's a normal market.
A lot of new sections for some of these giga developments, such as Sunterra. A lot of new sections are opening up there. I think I saw their inventory was astonishingly high, and it worried me. And I looked at it, I said, no, that's par for the course for a development that big. It was 400, 500. just being marketed. Now they're not built; they're just
Right.
But
they're
the lots that they've opened up. Okay.
yeah, and there's they're available for purchase, and they're just flying through their inventory, which it's causing a lot of traffic up there. If you've been near Sunterra,
That was the middle of nowhere.
it was the middle of nowhere. We probably partied out there in high school,
Yes.
in those fields. But yeah, and then it's causing a lot of congestion going into Old Katy because they don't want to take the toll up.
Cutting through Keene Island to get into the backside there's a lot of traffic going through.
Yeah,
there
they had
today.
to move that intersection. Oh, we were talking about where we're going, where we see in our industry, but yeah.
Yeah.
But that's how,
It's
that's
the
how Katy folk
intersection,
get
it's going through,
sidetracked.
yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about high school.
Yeah.
I mean, I think when we ran our forecasts going forward, it was basically a couple guys in my office running it. They said they think we're going to do 1,700 files, which we did 1,600 last year. And that was
Okay.
based on bringing on. We got 2 new clients. We've seen a lot of appraisers
Good.
leave the industry recently because it was slow. And realtors, when they're in mass exodus too.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
didn't renew.
I think there's 1.5 or 1.6 million nationally, and I read a report last week. 1.1 million sold 0 homes last year.
Yeah, just paying for the license. No,
Wow.
I guess
So a lot of those will go away, especially with all the
Thinning
changes.
of the herd.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we need it.
it happens every decade. It's that pendulum swings. You
Yep.
know, it happened in '08. It happened in '16, kind of, and then here we are. But now I don't think we're going to have an '08, '09.
No.
No.
We've sailed past that point where it could have happened.
Not in our
Yes.
market.
If
Well, the
we
place
can-
people are coming to, not leaving from.
Right.
If you can survive like this in an 8% market, you're fine.
Right.
I can't imagine what would happen if the interest rates really got low. It's that for every point you go down in interest, every quarter you introduce 5 million buyers will now qualify, something like that.
That's interesting.
That I don't know the answer to, but I can tell you your buying power. Every 1% affects your buying power by 10%.
Yeah. So we just need,
So
but if we can survive
Wow.
in these rates, transactions would go up, but the values would really start to skyrocket if we went back down to 3 and 4%. I love to
don't
play.
think we're gonna see
No,
that.
we're not.
I don't think
But
we're
don't you
gonna
like to
see
play
that.
that game? Like,
Yeah.
what if I won the lottery? What would I do? Well, what would we do if
Right.
it's all 3% again?
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't believe we'll see that in our.
Not in my lifetime.
No. You know,
No.
speaking of interest rates on the national level, the people I talk to, they're talking mid to low 6s by year's end. So everybody that thinks that we're going to hit the 5s and the 4s again, that's not what I'm hearing.
Yeah. And I think that to get into those 5s, the buy downs will take the
It's
seller
buy downs,
concessions.
right.
Yeah.
Which is an amazing interest rate, really.
6 historically is a cheap interest rate over the last 100 years.
Yeah.
The 6s.
Yeah.
When's the last time we had actual 6s before this period? Would it have been in 05?
It's been probably about 20 years. We got drunk on low interest rates for a long time.
I know. Yeah, this is great.
The party
This is
didn't end for a long time.
awesome.
Yeah, but
I
it
like
lasted.
that. We got drunk on interest
It
rates.
lasted so long, the whole nation got spoiled, and
Yeah.
now this is the
Yeah.
reality. This is how expensive it is
Well,
to
and,
own
and that's
own
what
a
we're
home.
saying is that this is reality, and so that's why things are starting to happen and moving forward because it's not going to change.
And
We
if you,
just got to
It's
accept
a normal
and,
market
and go
today.
on.
and if you can't afford the house that you want to move in, you can do what we were talking about earlier, where you're going to transform the house you have right now,
Yeah.
Right.
and pay a little bit more. You just,
Or drive to qualify. I mean, that's another thing. I mean, Katy's a hot market. It is. The schools drive a lot of
schools,
that.
yes.
And the developers. I mean, Johnson Development, Tejas. I mean, we have a lot of really good developers and good builders in our local market as well.
Amazing.
But, I mean, if you're willing to drive 45 minutes, you can get into lower price points and still buy nice homes.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. Head out west down 1093 or
Sure.
hit Sealy.
Or go north. I mean, Spring's a different market.
And you
There's a
now we
lot
got
of value in
99,
Spring.
Just take it around.
Yeah.
It's nothing now I mean, I used to commute to U of H. I used to work downtown. I was living on the west side. It was an hour and a half if I hit the wrong time in traffic.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, what's the difference? Move to Magnolia. And if I have appointments down here in Katy, it's still going to be less time than I did that. I did that for 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But now we're spoiled, so we don't want to do that.
COVID did it again. It
Uh-huh.
spoiled us staying
Yeah.
at home. Yeah. You can't get people to go back to the office, much less drive 45 minutes to an hour. But then how much do you want that new house? How much do you want that 3 acres?
Yeah.
And those mini cows. That's my goal. I want mini cows.
Mini cows?
mini
What
cows
is
and
mini
pygmy.
cows?
Those the little cow that breeds the Highland cows. Is that what they are?
I have no idea.
Oh my gosh, they grow. They're 500 pounds, I think. Oh, but they're this big
Only
and
500 pounds.
Well, they
So it's about
they
the
grow,
size
but
of a pig.
yeah, they're this big when they're so cute. Pygmy goats. The little,
Really?
Yeah, I want those so bad. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think the HOA is going to let that happen.
Well, that's why I need 3 acres in somewhere west and no neighbors. I don't want to ever see anybody again except for you guys.
you want to spend a lot of money then.
Yeah, well, yeah. You see these homes that years ago. If I could just take 2005 prices that are in Weston Lakes and Fullbrook and go, I want those now.
Right price, wrong decade.
Oh yeah, you look at it, and you go, this is beautiful, and then it's $3 million. Of course it is.
Of course, yeah.
Well, like we talked about, I don't know, a couple of months ago, why didn't we buy land before the Grand Parkway went in, and we would have been set.
I remember looking at rice land for $750 an acre and going, "It's who's gonna pay that?"
Yeah.
Suckers. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot cost you 70, 80 grand today for a lot.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
And it's the same dirt.
The same. Nothing's changed.
Nothing's
They just don't make
changed.
any more of it. That's
right.
Well, Weston Lakes lots were banging 50 and 75,000, and now we're 200, 250
For just the dirt, no improvement.
No, I don't want to tell you, Weston Lakes, we did an auction on those lots years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
10, 15,000.
Oh,
wow.
I love Weston Lakes and
It's
Fullbrook.
that's a wonderful area.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Absolutely.
But the second we say that, it's now the prices have come up. So where are we going next?
Yeah.
Where's our next place? Where's our next rice land that we should
Everything's mowing north as we speak between Ellis and Centera. I mean, they're mowing through that dirt like billy goats. I mean, they are.
But I mean, I see Katy and Brookshire coming together. I mean, it's just,
Well,
it's almost
drive
there.
down 359 in between Brookshire and Fulshire. That's all development now too.
Yeah, that road. I mean, cruising down that for decades, it's just the middle of nowhere. You could be in the
Look
country.
at Twinwood out there and all that development. Woods Road. I mean, pick something.
Have you seen how much land they have?
It's
If we were
massive.
to assemble it, it goes all
massive.
the way out like 10 miles. Crazy.
Simonton.
Simonton, that's the next place.
yeah,
East
that's
Bernard's
the
going to be
next.
head south too.
Yeah. Well, because there's going to be another major.
Wallace, 36 in between Sealy and Wallace. I think you'll
Yes.
see some explosive growth out there within the next decade.
Because that's going to extend. That road's going to come through to
Allegedly,
I-10,
that's
right?
going to be the new outer belt. Allegedly.
Oh yeah,
36.
I mean, it's crazy. We're 180 miles on the 99. If you were to take it all the way around,
That's crazy.
What would a fourth loop do?
I have no idea.
I remember moving to Houston and getting on 610 and missed an exit and went all the way around again.
What the old Houston joke was: get on 610, get in the far left lane, and take the first left turn.
There you go. Okay.
Oh man.
Now you get on the Beltway. That's a long ways around.
Oh gosh.
I remember the Beltway being built. I was younger, but I remember that being built.
Yes.
And there was an Oceans. Remember that?
Oceans, yeah.
Oceans, that's what it was. Yeah.
Over there in Alief.
Wow. No, crazy. Crazy.
We'll call this Memory Lane, the Memory Lane podcast.
Right.
Yeah. Do we have any questions or anything that came in today, guys?
We're not live.
Oh, that's right. We're live.
Why did you have to go there, Jake? That was
Yeah, thanks.
Jake with State Farm. That's not nice.
Jake's problem. Jake's problem.
Yeah.
You know, so for everybody that's watching this, we had to we had to record this to put up because our Wi-Fi was down today.
So,
Any-
sorry.
Any final thoughts or closing, guys?
Yes, I do.
Yay! Oh yeah, the Ballard House. Yes.
I do. So the Ballard House has a sporting clay event coming up out at Westside Sporting Grounds. That's February 7th. So please go to the Ballard House website and sign up. Put a team together. Be a sponsor. Come out and volunteer and help.
That's a great price for a team. $1,000. Usually it's $3,000 and $4,000 on those. That's great.
I know, and it helps an
very affordable.
amazing place. So please go and sign up.
And I would say this too, at Bock Appraisal Group, when you need a measurement or maybe a desktop appraisal, just kind of you kind of get an idea of how big your house is or how much you kind of want to know what it's worth. We take that fee and we donate it to Ballard House.
Yes.
We have them. And I didn't even know that you were so
Yes.
involved with Ballard House. And I said
Yes.
that the last time I was here.
Yes.
It's like, oh, you're really involved in it too?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
It's a great organization.
Oh, it's
Helps so
amazing.
many people.
Actually, I just connected you with one of the measurements yesterday for that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
The one in Sealy, yeah.
Brookshire.
Brookshire, that's right, yeah.
thank you.
Oh,
My
cool.
pleasure.
cool. Oh, yeah. Y'all do amazing things, so thank you.
Amazing. Yeah.
We try hard.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for supporting our channel. And again, John, thanks for coming out.
Oh, my pleasure, sir.
Actually, if anybody wants to reach or connect with you,
yes,
what's the
yes.
best way for them to connect with you, sir?
Give me a call at 281-770-8088. And yeah, I'll just say, hey, what's going on? This is John. And help you with that, whatever
So
you need.
it's Bock Appraisals.
Bock Appraisal Group. And J. Bock at Bock Appraisal Group if you want to reach out to by email.
Perfect.
Cool.
That's good.
All right. Thank you, sir.
We'll see you guys next week. Thanks.
Bye, guys.